What is going on, everybody? Super Saiyan Paul here, back at it with some more Dragon Ball Super news, information, and updates. Today we got a pretty crazy one. So it wasn't what we expected. We were expecting maybe a reveal of the new Dragon Ball Super anime or anything like that, but we got something that kind of leads into that, and it's pretty crazy. So before we jump into this video, guys, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It helps out a lot. I'll be covering this thoroughly because my eyes are glued in on whatever they're going to be dropping next. But we do know the next manga chapter is slated for December 20th of this month, the final chapter for the year. And what we also got today is a message from Dragon Ball Hype, and I'm going to read this off here, and it's going to be a pretty big revelation for the series. So Toriyama's latest message from the anime comic confirms that the movies so far have followed major episodes in the 10 years between the original manga's Majin Buu arc and the final chapter. Superheroes, a story right before the final chapter. That is the end of Z. So pretty crazy revelation there. What we know is that this new manga chapter that's coming out, it's going to bridge the Granola arc where it finished with Black Frieza and everything to the superhero movie. So whatever happened in the superhero movie was the latest in the canon. And right after that, that's the end of Z. So what we saw in the superhero movie is going to lead right up to this moment right here, the very end of Z, Oob and Goku. So remember how we saw Teen Trunks and Teen Goten? This is what the new manga chapter is going to be covering. We've seen them as the poster art, and that was the end of Z as well. So it's going to literally be the last chapter bridging the two. So Dragon Ball Super in and of itself covers the entire 10-year gap between that time skip from Majin Buu to this moment right here. And the crazy part about that is it's been almost 10 years since Battle of Gods. So this was still labeled and branded as Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods in 2013, but only in a month, it's going to be 10 years, about 10 years since this dropped. And this was relabeled as Dragon Ball Super Story, but this means that Super in and of itself as a brand covered that entire gap, meaning they may move forward past that if they have other Dragon Ball ideas, because they're moving into that territory. And like I said, this is how long it lasted. So 10 years after that saga, the Kid Buu saga, to where you see this moment right here. And it kind of 10 years have all kind of passed in real life time too. So that was pretty crazy. But the biggest indicator here is that this new manga chapter is going to feature these two as teenagers. And that's what bridges them into this ending part right here. I wonder if they're going to change the hair color again. But we got some crazy stills of the new anime comic, I believe. And this is going to have some Easter eggs and whatnot, but it does seem like that Gohan, according to Akira, is the definitive strongest, and they're going to have something crazy to reveal with this because Frieza's still looking for Broly, allegedly. We got Gohan being stronger than Goku and Vegeta, allegedly, according to Akira. Vegeta still has to master Ultra Ego. MUI is still all over the place. So all of these things are pretty crazy. That means they're going to be moving into post-Z content, maybe before GT or overriding GT completely. And there's a chance, instead of it being called Dragon Ball Super, they may just rebrand the entire thing. It may not be called Dragon Ball Super anymore. Super may just be every arc in between the end of Buu to the end of Z, and that's everything we got in that adventure. And they may just rebrand it into something else, because remember, they ditched Dragon Ball Z as a brand when they could have just left it right there and continued the story from there and made it into something new. So Super may be the section of this time gap filled from our childhoods with all of these crazy arcs, the Tournament of Power, to the Broly arc, to the Moro, to Granola, to Superhero. Then there's Z, and then it's us having to see what happens with all these other things that they just introduced, like Black Frieza, what's happening of that, and all these crazy things. And then most likely, if they want to get the most out of it, it's been how many years since GT released, they're going to have to overwrite it or something. So it's not canon. We know it's not canon, but they failed to kind of like dip their toes and really just flat out ignoring that ever happened. You know, it's in all the video games and stuff like that. So now it's time to just kind of dive into that timeline. That timeline has so much potential for the future of everything. And I mean, what really did they do with the future timeline of the present day Goku and everything like that? The most I've ever seen them do was in Dragon Ball MMO. That story was canonized by Akira, most likely forgotten by now, but it's pretty crazy. So we got a message from Akira himself. I'm going to read it off word for word. So Dragon Ball Superhero is the last thing before, like I said, this. And we remember that Oob got a crazy buff during the Moro arc. He's crazy strong. So The movies up to now have followed major episodes in the 10 years between the original manga's Majin Buu arc and the final chapter. Superhero is a story right before the final chapter. Thanks to the excellent director and staff, it was well received as the best yet by all those who saw it. I mean, I still prefer the Broly movie, but this was, I think it was still a great movie to watch in theaters. Most Dragon Ball movies are always amazing to watch in theaters. I gave it an 8 out of 10 review on the channel. Make sure you guys go check it out. We did it a whole hour breakdown of what we loved about it straight out of the movie theater. And I'm glad I was able to take part in it too, if I may toot my own horn. With the anime comics, you can easily enjoy that consistently wonderful quality and might discover many new things. So please check out every little nook and cranny. So what he's saying is that in these comics that are going to be releasing, there may be some Easter eggs as to what happens next. Now, I know a lot of people have their opinions split on superhero. I actually saw that the overall consensus that this movie was all right. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea with the animation style, but I think they proved a lot of people wrong with the CGI, because I thought it was good on my part. So we don't know where it's going to go from here, if it's going to be labeled Dragon Ball Super or something else. Dragon Ball ... like Dragon Ball whatever, like, you know how Dragon Ball AF and everything was like that. That's literally what we may be moving into, rebranding of the series. And like I said, Super is just to showcase that, hey, from Buu to this moment right here in Z is all Super. Everything that happens after this is a completely different thing. Now it's going to be Dragon Ball whatever. So they may just cut the chapter right there, because Superhero is technically the last gap in the timeline with these characters right before Boom. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. This is pretty crazy. And it's also really interesting to see that, yes, they bridged the 10-year gap, and it's been about 10 years since this content has been out. 2013 to 2023 is about to drop like in a month. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And for Super to be around as a brand, I mean, it only came out, what was it, 2015, 2016 as the show, but they rebranded all of these as Super. They may be doing the same exact thing moving forward. And what better way to start it off with having all these crazy powered up characters. Everybody's seen these memes where, yo, we got Broly, Ultra Ego Vegito, MUI Goku, Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, Black Frieza. What's about to happen here? Is Frieza going to be the next big bad? The Tournament of Power 2? What is going to go down here? We've never even seen the top 5 fighters. So there may be something crazy. And we've already said the power scaling was already wonking Super. So it may just go even further and beyond past Z, where I feel like it'll all be tolerable and it won't have to be capped by this endgame piece of writing here. Because at least Oob got a buff to kind of make Goku's interest in him worthwhile. I felt like I love that part about the Moro arc, that they brought him back into the spectrum and kind of gave him some crazy Supreme Kai abilities. So the writing, a lot of people have been harping on it, and it hasn't been as good as it could have been in certain parts. Even with like the superhero movie, some people are like, yo, we should have gotten Perfect Cell coming back, and actually there was a lot of missed opportunities. But you pass this part of Z, the world is unlocked. Like all the power levels, all the power scaling is unlocked. Because right now, remember, when we first watched Z, we didn't know about MUI, that this dude standing right here has MUI. He just fought Jiren, he fought Broly, and Broly's out there in the universe right now. That's all been written into the story. So following this, and remember there was a time skip with GT. I know it's not canon, but like if they can overwrite all of that, you have literally endless possibilities. And I think they're going to take that route, because action figure sales, video game character sales, DLCs, all these things are going to sell like hotcakes if you can get past this specific part. So them wrapping up Dragon Ball Super may be what's happening here. And when they said that was the final episode of Super with episode 131, I mean, who knows what it's going to be rebranded into? You never know, if it is by any chance. So let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the comment section below. I think I'm very hyped about this. It's been a very interesting piece of news today, and what a way to start December off, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I love y'all. Please remember to smash that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. I will be reading all of them to see your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you think, what would they name the next show? Like Dragon Ball what? ... It's Dragon Ball AF. Anyway, guys, it's crazy how all of this came full circle. So I'll be catching you guys next time, all right? Young Muddy, baby.